The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
Major funding for Triad Today comes from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, making healthcare better for all. Tourism and the arts on Triad Today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad Today, coming to you once again from the Kernersville Auto Museum, where you can come in on weekends for free and see these vintage cars. It's a great place. We'll tell you more about them later on. Later on is when the roundtable shows up. We're going to get into all sorts of controversial topics, but lots to say and see and do in this half hour. Where we want to start though is two good friends of the show who actually help to sponsor the roundtable each week. I'm talking about the Sutton brothers, Jim and Jack. Jim is immediately next to me, Jack on the outside, and we appreciate both of you being here and all you do for the community. Thanks for this.
Thank you.
Jim, let me start with you. More and more people have heard of Sutton Brothers, but here's a little commercial thing we'll do. But you offer more than just air conditioning service, right? I mean, what do you offer?
Yes, we do. We also offer plumbing service as well as electrical service, and we offer that for both residential and commercial purposes.
Well, that's important too. Some companies split that up, and one will do one and one will do the other. Hey, Jack, before I forget, who's the oldest one of the two?
Well, I guess I have to admit that would be me.
Does that make you wiser than?
Absolutely.
All right, Jack, serious question. Now, what led you to an interest in this field?
You know, that's that's an interesting question. I'd worked most of my career for Hanes Brands out of Winston-Salem. Jim had worked for Bank of America. Jim was looking for something to do on his own, and he invited me to join him. It was the right time for me, just the right moment in my life, and I can't tell you how glad I am that I made the decision to say yes.
That's great. That's great. I think that is. Jim, there are a lot of companies that, and I've gotten caught up in this, as all consumers have. You'll be summoned through the yellow pages, or you'll go on the internet looking for somebody to do work for you. And they say, well, we're locally owned and operated. And it turns out they're not. You know, they might come to an area, but they're not locally owned, they're not locally operated. Why is that important that Sutton Brothers does qualify for that?
Well, Jack and I are in the office all day, every day. Virtually every one of us is in the office 100% of the time, with few exceptions. So if there is a problem, or if there's anything that we need to take care of, a residential customer or a commercial customer knows that if they can't get the right answer they're looking for, they can always come to us and find out what's going on, as opposed to an entity that's outside of the state.
Oh yeah, I mean that's really important to be able to get to the person at the top. Community involvement. Before we run out of time, I want to just praise you guys for all the things you do in the community and help. And specifically, Jim, now you do some work with and support Children's Hospital, is that right?
Right. My wife and I are going to be co-chairing the Brenner Children's Hospital benefit that occurs in November. And prior to that, Sutton Brothers had been a big sponsor of the Brenner Children's Hospital, as well as the Salvation Army, an outfit called the Do School, and many other local causes. We like to try to give back as much as we can to the community that supports us.
Right, and Jim mentioned Salvation Army. That's one that's sort of near and dear to your heart too, right?
It is. I've been on the board of the Salvation Army for many, many years, so we work with Boys and Girls Club there in Winston-Salem and the Center of Hope Family Shelter. So the Salvation Army is something where we truly have concerns and work for as hard as we can.
Service to the community, but you also, one thing I think sometimes we overlook when we talk about companies, you can sort of give service to the employees too. They're part of the family, right?
Absolutely. We don't think of them so much as how many people work for us. We think of how many families work for us. We feel a great deal of responsibility to make sure that our employees are taken care of. And we try not to look at it so much as offering a job, but offering a career. So we have nice benefits for them.
Right.
It's the things that we had when we worked for larger companies that we so much appreciated. And we wanted to make sure that our employees had the same benefits that we were used to having.
Jack, did the two of you ever disagree on things?
You know, we really haven't disagreed on anything, to tell you the truth. I think we've worked well together.
Well, the day's young.
The day is young.
Could happen any moment. Up on screen, Sutton Brothers, and you actually have Sutton Bros, B-R-O-S is an abbreviation, Sutton Bros, BROS.com, or you can call 390-3902. There's several numbers you can call throughout the area. But and we hope that they will not disagree about anything when they leave here. But I really congratulate you guys. Thanks again for the support that you give this program and your commitment to public service and community service. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. That's why we're making healthcare better for all. Starting with you. Yes, you, Daryl. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting your benefits, prescriptions, and details all in one place. Blue Cross North Carolina, making healthcare better for all.
Back now on Triad Today, Kevin Baker, Executive Director, Piedmont Triad International Airport. Welcome, sir. Good to see you.
Hey, Jim. Good to see you.
Every industry has its own lingo, and it sort of talks over my head, and initials, and they call things different things. And you sent me an email one day and said, hey, Jim, let's talk about MRO. And I'm going, okay, what is MRO? So answer that.
Yeah, so it's maintenance, repair, and overhaul. Basically
Okay.
service on an airplane.
All right, so no, but there are MRO companies. So talk about who's at the airport, why they're at the airport.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the aerospace industry grew up around the MRO world. Back in the late 80s, Cessna located a service center here, and so did the company Timco was created here at that time. And you know, some of the companies, the manufacturers, have their own service center. Just like if you have a Honda automobile, you might take it to the Honda dealer to have it worked on, or you might take it to your favorite service station somewhere else. In this case, Honda has their own service station, Cessna has their own service station, MROs. And then you have companies like Timco, which is now AAR, who are third-party MROs. They'll maintain anybody's airplane.
Oh, okay. Now, how important are they to the life of the airport and to economic development in general?
Well, I think that, you know, again, that's really what the airport grew up on in terms of the aerospace industry. There are a couple thousand people that are working in this world, in the world of MRO on the airport, and have been for a long time. And we've got this robust pipeline from GTCC and Forsyth Tech and other schools that are preparing the next generations of those who will work in these places.
Yeah, and it helps there, you know, for the companies to know that they have this education available so that the workers can come in pretty much from the get-go and do what they need to do.
There's no question, you know, knowing that pipeline exists and that workforce training exists, even for original equipment manufacturers. So, you know, companies that are making airplanes, the same skill sets generally apply.
You've been real instrumental. I know that you don't go around bragging about this, but I'll brag about it. You've been real instrumental in trying to bring a lot of industry to the area, and in the aerospace industry and others. But people are wondering, gosh, how much more can you fit in at the PTI campus? Seems like you've got all this stuff going on, all these employees. But do you still try to recruit the maintenance organizations?
Absolutely. We're not done. We got plenty of room, and we're buying more land.
All right. Now, whether it's the maintenance organizations, whether it's the folks that manufacture jets and various things in the aerospace industry, just remind folks, around the total PTI campus, about how many people work, maybe directly for you and maybe throughout the campus. What kind of economic impact are we talking about?
So for the Airport Authority, we're a relatively small operation, 130, 140 full-time equivalents, but on the airport entirely, there's nearly 10,000 people that are working, and you know, according to the state of North Carolina, that has about a $10 billion impact on the state's economy.
Wow.
Annually. So, you know, it's a really important place of employment.
So then the follow-up question to that would be, if somebody's watching this segment, is to think, well, if you've got all these great jobs, are they good paying jobs?
They're very high paying jobs. In fact, in most cases, the single salary is about 150 to 175% of what average household income is in the area, and that could be two earners, average household income. So
right.
You know, the message is that you've got a lot of jobs, and they're really good jobs.
Well, then I guess before we wrap up, are there still jobs available? I know you have your ear to the ground out there with these organizations. There's still available jobs, right?
They're constantly hiring, so I would tell anyone to go to the websites of the individual companies.
All right, and go to this website. That's a good lead into this. Flyfrompti.com, flyfrompti.com. Lots of good information as you search through the portals to find out what's going on at PTI. Kevin Baker, thanks, my friend.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, we'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you that Triad Today also airs on GTN Spectrum Channel 13 and streams on WFMY Plus, free on Roku and Amazon Fire. Back now on Triad Today, and I'm excited about talking about the arts, and especially the arts in Greensboro, and especially the organization that really makes things happen there, with two great ladies with us. On my immediate right, Jamila Pender. She's a board member of the Arts Council of Greater Greensboro. Deb Rufino is here, grants coordinator for that fine organization. Welcome, ladies. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Jamila, let me start with you very quickly and basically just get us started. What's the mission of the Arts Council to you? How would you describe that?
We are the heartbeat of the community. We exist so that we're able to make sure everybody can experience the arts and however way they want to be able to experience in that. And so that's our mission, making sure that people are aware of the arts and how they can connect to the arts in our community.
Sometimes regular folks like me or elected officials, others, will say things like, well, you know, the arts are kind of an optional thing. That's not how you feel.
Oh, contrary to that statement. Arts is the heartbeat and the lifeblood that helps to be able to generate quality of life as well as quality of place. And when you think about arts, it drives, it impacts our mental and emotional health. It's a great economic driver in terms of when you're talking about small and mid-sized businesses, which to me are the heartbeat of our communities. And so it's not optional, it's a standard, it's a must.
Absolutely. Deb, let me go to you for a second. Now, how does the Arts Council make a difference in the community? Because I know you give grants to various organizations. Talk about that connection.
Yeah, through funding, we work with we've been able to work with 30 art organizations over the past 3.5 years. Building really a sustainability platform. The art leaders in our community are really passionate about what they do. They're passionate about their missions, and they see the arts really as a necessary component to health and wellness and a healthy lifestyle within Greensboro.
Yeah, definitely. As Jamila was saying, it's definitely a quality of life issue. Jamila, I've heard something, I think it was in an email that one of you sent me, about something called the Arts Fund. The Arts Fund. What is that?
Oh yes, our Arts Fund is what makes arts in our community possible. So through our Arts Funds, it allows us to be able to support the arts in our community. So it allows us to be able to support up and coming artists. It allows us to support artists that have been in this for a long time and kind of need that refresh. So the Arts Fund allows us to be able to expand the arts in the community so that everybody has an option to be able to participate in the arts.
And we didn't rehearse this or anything, but Deb, just when we talk about the arts, you know, some people have their own image of what that is. So, well, Deb, you and Jamila just give money to music groups. You give money to theater groups. Is it, you know, what's the wide range here? I mean, help me understand this.
Well, we don't just give money to them. We actually have been working in a cohort model to build sustainability. So those organizations work very thoughtfully through processes that we've helped in coaching, training, and really giving them a foundation so that they can go and work with their boards and their staff to make this a stronger, more vibrant community.
Yeah, and really sustain it over time. Anything new coming up that we should know about on the art scene, Deb?
Well, there's something new all the time.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
One of the things that we recognized was that by capacity, these are very small organizations, and so we've helped them a lot with marketing. So we have an events calendar on our website where people can go and they can find out what's happening every single day.
Yeah.
And then we also have an Arts in Focus monthly edition where we do articles about artists, organizations, businesses.
Like an online newsletter or
and,
something. Yeah, I'm gonna
people
put
that actually support the arts as well, citizens.
Yeah.
And not to mention, we also have art activation. So we're talking about art in business. So it's an opportunity for us to highlight businesses as well as artists and bringing that collaboration together. So that's one of many things when we talk about the arts. Art shows up from a health perspective. So working with our health systems and health organizations and seeing the connection between health and arts to activating businesses and making sure businesses have arts in all the different forms. And so those
Yeah.
are many opportunities.
All right, look, before time runs out, very quickly, each of you take a few seconds. What gave you an interest in art to begin with? Were you a little girl at the time, or when did this happen? Very quickly.
Oh, when I was a child, I remember going to see my first play. It was Peter Pan.
Really?
Yes, had an awesome opportunity. And from there, I think it kind of spurred me into, wow, there's so much life in the arts, and want to be able to give that back to others.
How about you, Deb?
I think the arts, when you are exposed to them and involved in them, they give you a form of catharsis so that you can understand yourself better, you understand people better, you understand heritage, community. There's so many things that they offer that they touch
Absolutely.
in our everyday lives.
Absolutely. Up on screen, the ACGG, which stands for the Arts Council, GreaterGreensboro.org. Please check that out. All sorts of information on there. And to Jamila and Deb, your whole team, thanks for everything you're doing.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We'll be right back after.
Spartans are the teachers, artists, nurses, scientists, and leaders who build our communities.
Back now on Triad Today. So glad we can spend a few minutes with this very busy lady. We catch her every once in a while and get her to stop by for a few minutes. Stephanie Pace Brown, President, CEO of Visit Winston-Salem. Good to see you again.
Hey, great to be here. Thanks for having me back.
Let's remind folks what Visit Winston-Salem is. What's the mission?
You know, Visit Winston-Salem is the organization that spreads the word about all of the wonderful things to do in Forsyth County so that overnight visitors will come and spend their money and put cash register receipts for our local businesses and generate tax revenue for the things that we enjoy as the people who live here.
Absolutely. It just improves the quality of life for everybody because of these revenues coming in, the hotel revenues and the restaurants and everything else. Now, you sent me an email with a few things I want to go over with you. I did not know about a couple of these things. One is that a World Cup championship team from Europe, I think you said Germany in your email, will be training in Winston-Salem. Now, why is that a big deal and what's that all about?
This is a really big deal. I think a lot of Americans don't realize that the viewership for the World Cup is 8 times more than a Super Bowl.
Wow.
So worldwide, this is a huge, huge event. Germany has chosen Wake Forest and the Grayland Estate Hotel as their training facility. So they'll be camped here and training and then flying to their matches around North America. And one of the really exciting parts of that is 150 European journalists will come with them.
No way.
And so they'll be broadcasting from Winston-Salem almost every day. And so we're planning excursions for them so that they can file stories in their home countries, mostly Germany,
right,
about what a great place Winston-Salem is and the Triad in North Carolina. And it's a huge win. It's a real testament to the excellence of Wake Forest and the pristine beauty of Grayland and the hospitality that exists here in the Triad.
Yeah, I had Pam and I had our wedding reception 100 years ago at Grayland. Yeah, it's a beautiful
so
place.
Beautiful.
It is. All right, now let's talk about something you also mentioned in an email to me. It was something called Imagine Winston-Salem. Imagine Winston-Salem. What's that about?
Imagine Winston-Salem is a collaboration that's being led with Greater Winston-Salem, Inc., Visit Winston-Salem with the support of the Winston-Salem Foundation. And it's a community engagement process to create a roadmap for the future so that we can prioritize the best investments and identify strategies that help move us forward to be an economically vibrant community that's a wonderful place to live and locate a business and visit.
Now, what about as we move further into this spring and summer, what's new for visitors?
Well, you know, Visit Winston-Salem has a website that more than 2 million people come to every year, and it has many hundreds of events, and we're rolling out some new features to help locals and visitors enjoy the outdoors. And so there's a new outdoor adventure section that helps people identify trails and know where to park and know what the features are and outdoor activities. And so, you know, under the category of like maybe something you didn't know about or something you haven't done for a while, we think that's an area that'll really help people appreciate the outdoors here. It's also the 250th anniversary of the country.
Yes, ma'am.
And, Visit Winston-Salem has been hosting journalists and helping them to see that this is a place where you can experience every era of American history.
That's right.
From the founding period into industrialism and civil rights movement, and now into arts and innovation, that defines the creative economy and moving forward. And so this is one place where Americans can visit to experience all of those eras. And we recently had a great story in one of the major newspapers that said the places we're RSVPing to for the anniversary, and it was Washington, D.C., New York City, Charlottesville, and Winston-Salem.
There you go. All right, well, up on screens, I want you to check this out. VisitWinstonSalem.com is the general website. VisitWinstonSalem.com. Lots of portals to tell you about all sorts of things, as Stephanie said, including how to get outside and be healthy and do things on these trails and everything else. Stephanie, thanks for everything you do to really help the community. Thanks a lot.
It's an honor and a pleasure. Thanks,
all right.
Jim.
We'll be right back after this. Major funding for Triad Today comes from Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, making healthcare better for all. The Roundtable is brought to you by Sutton Brothers, locally owned and operated and serving all of your HVAC, plumbing, and electrical needs. Back now on Triad Today, just about time for the Roundtable with a quick shout out to the good folks here at the Kernersville Auto Museum. You can see all these vintage cars for free on the weekends. Please come out and do that. And a lot of vintage stuff, just like here. Different vintages here. We have Ogie and Rosemary Plyman, Keith Granberry, and everybody. Oh, and Ogie had this story in Yes Weekly last week about what was the
Old Crow Medicine Show. Going to be at Merle Fest this weekend.
Merle Fest. All right, check that out. Cool. All right, guys. Serious topic. Last week, 2 students were shot to death and 5 others injured at a park in Winston-Salem, just adjacent to Jefferson Middle School. A fight had been planned in advance, so it was well attended by a large number of spectators. Here's the question and the problem. Local authorities now say they're going to charge all the spectators for standing by and not calling for help. You okay with that decision, Ogie?
What did they charge them with?
I think one of them was obstruction, one was aiding and abetting.
We used to do that in junior high. It was a pre-planned thing behind a Broad Street drink stand, and everybody in the school knew it. And there was a couple of enforcers there. If it got out of hand, one guy getting hurt bad, they would jump in and break it up. But
not
this
now.
is a different time.
They're using guns.
Yeah, that's what I was
We're in a different time.
Yeah, times have changed and people are bringing guns to these fights. And I think, yes. I don't know what the charge is. Maybe that's something that needs to be thought of. Yeah. But I think if you know about it and you don't do anything to alert somebody who could make a difference and stop it.
And it seemed like everybody in the world knew it except the SROs and people like that. So that sort of baffled me. Keith?
I don't think you can charge the people for coming to the event. It's the people who are at the event who are participating that you charge, and you charge them so that they set an example of not doing that again.
All right. Last week, an idea was floated around about combining the Forsyth Sheriff's Department with the Winston-Salem Police Force. Now, this is done in a lot of cities. Metro Police, this kind of policing is done in Charlotte and Mecklenburg, for example. Guys and gals, would you like to see Metro policing in our area? Ogie?
I don't think it does any good, really. I'm not really in favor of that. I like having a sheriff's department and a city police force.
Separate. Rosemary?
I mean, I think it depends on the area, right, and the culture of the departments, and would they mesh well? Would their policies and their people work well together? And that it has to be on a case-by-case basis.
What do you think, Keith?
I think you leave it as. I like the sheriff, the police department. I think it's good the way it is. I think you just have to have more policing in those hard-to-serve areas. Mm-hmm. That's where it needs to happen.
Yeah. North Carolina ranks dead last in the nation for school funding and 43rd in teacher pay. I don't think that surprises anybody here. The State House proposed an 8% salary increase. Governor Stein says 6%. The State Senate proposes 3%. There are variations and other things they would offer in that. But here's the question. Do you think our teachers deserve a raise? And if so, by what percent, Ogie?
Well, they definitely do. But, I mean, it's a two-pronged issue. If we're dead last, we've got to do something about that as well. I'd say 6% for teachers and 6% for the schools at large.
All right, Rosemary.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to do a salary adjustment. And so I don't know, it's hard to know what the right percentage is there, right? But it needs to, not just teachers, but the other school system classified employees as well, and into the infusion of cash into our schools.
Yeah, one of these proposals I think offered, it was a big bonus or something they were going to offer anyway, but what if, should they get a raise, and by how much?
They should get a raise, but there also should be a performance a piece in that raise as well. So it should be 6%, and if you perform well, then you get a certain bonus for that. I think you got to have teachers performing well in these schools, and that's what's hurting our schools now.
All right, currently 20 airports in the United States have private companies operating security checkpoints rather than federal TSA agents. President Trump wants to expand that approach, privatize security at all small airports. He said it'll save taxpayers $52 million a year. Guys and gals, you okay with privatizing airport security, Ogie?
That's not a big issue to me. I mean, $52 million in the total scheme of things is a drop in the bucket. It's just another idiot Trump idea.
Rosemary.
Well, if we can, if we can make sure that the standard is still met, right? That's the most important thing, that the airports are secure, that the people are secure. And so that's my biggest concern, is that the standard is met.
Keith, mandating that private companies run this security?
I don't think private companies run. Then you look at people getting favors to run security. I think you got to keep it the way it is and give them more money. But I don't think you privatize security.
Earlier this month, Bob Luddy, I don't know the gentleman, but he's an influential Republican donor, asked state senators not to accept money from the casino gambling industry and not to do any expansion of casino gambling in North Carolina. Do you support that request in general, Ogie?
I do. I don't know him either, but he needs to come over to the light side. He sounds like he could be one of us.
Rosemary, what do you think?
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I think that we have some problems in that industry, and so I think even if not just taking a step back and a pause to see where we should be going with it.
Keith,
he said, don't take any money.
Don't take any money from casino.
But you take money from other groups that are just as bad as gambling, right?
Yeah, that's right.
No. Cigarette groups and all of that. No. You take money from them.
They take it from Ogie. All right, finally, guys, tourists are being reminded, if you're traveling overseas to Iceland, that if you travel to Iceland, you must shower naked before entering a public swimming pool. Guys and gals, are you okay with showering naked at a public pool, Ogie?
Why?
Why you ask Ogie that? You know he's okay with showering naked.
Doesn't shower naked anyway.
I mean, people can see it.
I don't care.
Rosemary.
Okay, I had a friend who just went, and this is actually a very real issue.
That's
because
right.
They say Americans don't want to take off their bathing suits.
Oh, right.
But she told me that she did it, and you're in an enclosed stall. You're by yourself anyway. Take off your bathing suit.
Yeah.
Well, with the way the body I have, I want everyone to see it.
That's all the time. That's all the time. That's all the time.
I need everyone to see it.
Except for this, last week a baby was born aboard a flight from Jamaica to New York City. They landed at Kennedy Airport, so the mother named the baby Kennedy. Good thing for that kid they didn't land at Spain's Moron Airport. For all of us here at Triad Today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next week.